Hi, everyone. Welcome back to day 13. Today, I want to talk about emotional intelligence. Now, from a psychological point of view, there are three basic components to emotional intelligence, and they are the ability to be self-aware, right? Makes sense. The ability to identify and manage your own emotions, and also the ability to identify and support or manage the emotions of someone else. Now, we can't control anyone, but at times it's necessary to navigate around someone else's emotional intelligence, how they're feeling in the moment, whatever emotions are arising for them. And we do this in the context with our coworkers, our family, our loved ones, and sometimes even strangers. And these skills are really important for our day-to-day lives, and they support us in navigating our personal emotional waters so that we can be more effective and function. In regard to emotional intelligence, when I am in the context of a session, I am looking and assessing, intuiting the emotional intelligence that is conscious, insofar as the emotions that they deal with on an open awareness level, that self-aware level. This can include the way they problem solve, their sense of humor, the way they deal with grief or tragedy or excitement, their passions, their goals, their purpose, their gifts, their talents, that are all wound up in emotional intelligence. Now, where I find that within the body more often than not, and here again, I am speaking about conscious emotional intelligence or surface level emotional intelligence. I'm going to talk about the subterranean or subsurface emotional intelligence in a moment. Where I discover that surface or conscious level of emotional intelligence usually resides within three specific places within the body. One is the brain, two is the heart, and number three is usually in the small intestinal tract, woven within or around the neurons of the enteric nervous system. Now, emotional intelligence, surface and subsurface emotional intelligence can arise within the context of a medical intuitive session at any time. When I go in to do my work, and I often tell my clients, I'm going to go in and look at XYZ. And when I say that, what I mean by that is my intention is to always look physically. And I may have mentioned that before. That is my intention, to focus on the physicality of the body, both the physiology, which is about function, and anatomy, which is about the organ or gland itself. For me, where it gets really interesting and sometimes really surprising is when the subsurface emotional intelligence pops up. So imagine, if you will, I am going in to look at a structure in the body, a bone, a tissue, whatever it is I need to look at whatever scale and scope I need to look at, whether it's the whole bone or if I need to dial in to cellular structure or marrow or whatever I need to look at. So I'm going in with the intention to look physically. And we all know what pop-ups are on a computer, right? They just pop up right in your face. And they are everywhere, right? So emotional intelligence on that subsurface level is just like a pop-up on a website. Just pops up right in front of me. When it happens that quickly, sometimes even before I get through the energy field and into the specific site I'm going to look at, I pay attention to that. Now, this is very important, I feel, for those of you in the healing arts doing any kind of intuitively inspired or intuitively based work. As I've said previously, emotions are the easiest things to discern intuitively. We all have them. They're usually right up on the surface, and they are also in that subsurface, subterranean level. As an intuitive, because there is no separation between time and space, it's very common to run into the submerged emotions, simply because they pop up quickly. does not mean they are the primary driver for whatever condition, imbalance, or even disease state that you may be assessing as a medical intuitive, as a therapist, as a physician. It is something to pay attention to regarding the speed at which they arise, but it's not the leading indicator of their percentage of causation to what's going on. And that is so important for you to pay attention to. It's critical because it's so easy to go into the emotional yada, yada, yada and spend all the time in there when what also really truly needs to happen is a full assessment of the structure. Now, if you are a rock star at discerning surface and subterranean emotional intelligence and your skill sets aren't up to a level that allows you to go in and accurately discern physical structure, then stay in your lane. However, I wouldn't call yourself a medical intuitive if that's your wheelhouse. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, it's brilliant to be able to do that work and so helpful to so many people. So there will be tremendous benefits to your clients if assessing emotional intelligence, both levels, conscious and unconscious, is your gift to the world. That's brilliant. As a medical intuitive, no matter the level of intelligence with which you find yourself working, what I call the 4 intelligences, spiritual, energetic, emotional, and physical, don't overshoot the runway, particularly with emotional intelligence. Emotions can cause stress, which changes chemistry, and over time that can certainly affect the body. More often than not, however, it is not the largest percentage of causation to the condition at hand. In a few days, I'll talk about self-awareness, which is the first step in conscious emotional intelligence. Down the road, I'll talk about how subterranean or subsurface emotional intelligence uses that intelligence to hide within the body and the energetic structures. Until next time.